in gymnastics, by the time gymnasts reach you at age 18 or 17 or 19, are there cases where a lot of times they're past their prime or possibly burnt out? And how do you deal with an athlete who comes in, who obviously has talent and drive, but has possibly been exposed to the sport from such a young age that she's kind of burnt out with the whole idea? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's not uncommon at all, especially for athletes who've been at the highest level, the elite level, that have really been, both mentally and physically kind of burn out. And the way we deal with it is we try to be as positive as we can be, and allow them to kind of rediscover the sport and their place in the sport, and especially in this environment, and kind of fall in love with it again, and get back to a point they can enjoy it. And sometimes that takes a couple years.
Yeah.
Most of them are talented enough that they can kind of fake it for a year or two and still contribute to the team and do a very good job, but not unusual at all for some of our athletes that have been on national teams or Olympic teams, that they come here and they're okay their first year or two, but maybe not what everybody expected they'd be. But by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're unbelievable.
Back in love with the sport.
Yeah.
What
you can tell they love it again.
What kind of things do you focus on? What parts of the sport do you think remind them why they fell in love with it in the first place? What are some of the maybe
I think a lot of it has to be what we talked about earlier, control.
Okay.
I really think they have to get to a point they're not doing it for mom and dad. They're not doing it for their coach, me, or their former coach, or whoever. They're not doing it for the national team director. They're doing it because they like it, because they love it. They love, and part of it is the environment we provide here. I mean, they're out here in front of 12 to 15,000 people, week in and week out, who adore them, and they're celebrities on campus and in the community here. That's a part of it. I think that helps, but ultimately they get to a point that they do it for themselves, and because it makes them feel good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.